All right, here with Maury head football coach Dyrri McCain. His Commodores win it today over the Warwick Raiders, 48-20 in the Region 5B championship. Coach, 366 yards of offense and more points and a half than Warwick's defense had given up in the previous 12 games coming in. But knowing you like I do, sixth straight region championship. This is just another day at the office, isn't it?
Definitely. That's not the goal that's set out, but it's good for the program and for the kids to push the six straight. A lot of guys that we have, like Fred Johnson and Devontae Floyd and Christian Murphy, and those guys have kind of been around the block. Out of those six, they've won three of them. So it's just the building blocks of what was built before them, and for those guys to continue it on. So I'm proud of those guys. It wasn't the biggest goal, but I'm proud of the way we played.
How proud, too, are you that you responded from a little bit of adversity? You get the first lead here, first three plays you get on the field, touchdown pass, and then they block a punt. It's 7-6. You didn't blink from there. I think you scored the next 35 points going into halftime, and you guys were razor sharp from there. It was just the calmness of the group, the experience and maturity. What did you see after that point?
It's like what I talked about all year. We faced a lot of adversity throughout the years, and the group of guys that we have, they've been a part of a lot of it. You talk about the two state championship losses. You talk about some of the 7-on-7s that we played this year, facing those things. And I talked to them guys before the game. I mean, we talk about that game stretch that we had with Wise, Highland Springs, and Dinwiddie. We were tied in one of those games at half. We were up in one of those games at half, and we were down. And then what? The majority of the team lost in those two state titles. So there's nothing that these guys haven't seen, and when that happens, I mean, hey, they scored because they blocked the punt, and then they scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Calm down, we're okay.
Sure.
And that's what happened.
A lot was certainly built up about the offense. Your offense averaging over 59 points per game. Their defense going up just 3 coming in. But I feel like your defense got a little motivated from that coming in. And we know about some of the headline guys like the Ari Watfords, the Fred Johnson was defensive player here in the Eastern District, the Kendall Daniels is the Ike Simmons. You got some other guys like Leslie Hines, Marquavian Morris. I thought they set the tone as that second quarter onslaught came for you all.
Yeah, I think we just we talk about, like, we play a great brand of team ball, and that's on both sides of the ball. I think when people talk about our offense, yes, Tory Newkirk is the quarterback, so obviously he's going to get the praise, but there's a lot of guys. You got Melvin Lowe, you got LeBron Bond, you got Fred Johnson, you got Damari Palmer, you got Leon Clark. So it's just a bunch of guys. And then same thing defensively. You talk about the Aries and the Fred Johnsons, but you got Leslie Hines, you got Ike Simmons, you got Dylan Gold, you got Levante Bond. So, it just speaks volume of guys just buying into team ball, and I think we've done a good job of that in the program.
You got a lot of quarterbacks set up some pretty big numbers and established themselves. This youngster, Tory Newkirk, who was a JV player last year, now a varsity starter, and he's been unbelievable this year, coming in 34 touchdowns, just 4 picks, 10 TD runs tonight in the first half. He's 12 of 16, 222. But the way he keeps plays alive with his feet, and also when you go empty, he can run it. He does a lot of different things when you spread people out. It's just, is that some of that what you coach him up to do is also instinctively? What do you see that's different about other quarterbacks you've had that sets him apart and makes him so special?
I guess to answer the first question, I just think that he has a special ability. I think that he understands football well. I think he's very coachable. He not even just the system itself, like what we do. I think that he's wanted to learn and be know the game, be a student of the game, and that's what I feel like that he does, a lot better than most that I've had. And that's not shading anybody that I have had, but also his ability to take coaching. He as good and well as the year that he's had. He's always yes sir, no sir, and always upping his teammates, and he just brings that energetic edge that the guys love him. You could tell with a quarterback when he's special, when his team loves him, and not just certain guys. His team loves him. The coaches, we love him, and I'm glad that I have a Tory Newkirk, no question.
But that starts in the offseason, doesn't it, in a lot of ways?
Yeah, and he put in the work. He talked about it last year. He was a JV guy last year, and he just went in the offseason, just put in major work, showed up to every workout, wanted to be better. He's very I think we kind of share the perfectionist trait, because whenever he's not right, it's not like he doesn't get down on himself, but he's so wanting to be locked in, and I think we're on the same page with just understanding what we're trying to do to opponents, understanding the game plan. He tries to outdo me with play calls and stuff like that. So, he just has this special ability when it comes to understanding the game.
The competitive edge certainly helps with your 2 wins away from the state championship. Last two for you. They have the ball almost the entire third quarter except one play, but in the fourth quarter, you have a freshman out there, Matt Williams, who you told me at that Holland Springs game. He's going to be special, Matt. Elijah Moss tonight, sophomore, who stepped into a bigger role with one of your receivers going down early in the year. He has over 100 yards receiving tonight as like the third, fourth, fifth option. Some nights, you got a lot of youngsters that getting a lot of playing time and growing, gaining some valuable experience during the playoff run.
No question. I think that's what it's been in the program. I think you talk about the Devontae Floyds who played as a freshman. You talk about the Fred Johnsons who played as a freshman. Christian Murphy who played as a sophomore, and Josh Powell who played as a freshman. So, and you see these guys now, and just the experience, the crowd, the moment is never going to be too big. And when it's Elijah Moss's time and Matt Williams' time, it's not going to be anything that they haven't seen before. Being in it and actually giving production in the game. So I'm proud of those young bucks.
And shout out to Pal. He had the Madden video game juke of the night. Lastly, Indian River coming up in the region championship, not Green Run for a third straight year. Your thought on that? It's a surprise to some, but you know how good that defensive front is, and you saw him in your 7-on-7 passing league.
Yeah. Whatever opponent wanted to be there next week, we plan to be there. We know the goal. So we know that we're here. We're glad that we're here. So what is it, Indian River? We got to come to play. But so do they. So we got a task that we got to take care of because we know the ultimate goal. So whether it was going to be Green Run or Indian River, we didn't care. We just knew that we wanted to be here next Saturday.
Coach McCain's Commoners one step closer to state championship Saturday at UVA. Thank you so much. Congrats on the win. We'll see you again soon.
Matt.
Appreciate it. Yeah.